Hey, I have a joke for you. Why do ghosts always need more books? Because they go through them too quickly. Well, hello to my one viewer. I've got another monthly reading update. This one is for August. So in this video, I'm going to be going through what books I read in July, what I'm currently reading, and what I plan to do in August. So that's why it's called the August update. I had a pretty good month of reading in July. I finished one 7-book series that's taken me several years to read. I also dipped my first toe into some Russian classics, and I'm almost done with another 7-book series that I'm rereading. As a total, I did read 6 total books last month. 2 of them were pretty long. The other ones are fairly regular or whatever. So anyways, let's get into it. The first thing that I read was not even a book. It was a graphic novel. It was Watchmen by Alan Moore, which was the obvious superhero graphic novel from the 80s. It's pretty good. I wouldn't say it's my favorite so far, but it's it's up there considering I've only read like 5 of them. But I liked it well enough. It obviously dealt with some complex issues, kind of a deconstruction of the superhero genre. A lot of political stuff in it. But it's good. I did see the movie years ago, so I kind of knew what the story was. And surprisingly, the movie was fairly faithful to the graphic novel and its adaptation, I thought. There wasn't a lot of deviation. So that's good. The next book that I read was Danse Macabre by Stephen King. It's a nonfiction book in which Stephen King takes a look at pop culture and movies and books, mostly through the horror genre, mostly between the 50s and 80s, but also touching on some of the older classics. And then he also did have an essay in the beginning of the book and included in newer editions, where he did touch on some newer horror movies that had come out in the 2000s that he liked. So all in all, that was a pretty good book too, I thought. Kind of interesting to hear Stephen King, one of the most popular horror authors in history, talk about kind of the books and movies that shaped his taste in the genre. While we're on the subject of Stephen King, I did finish Song of Susannah and the Dark Tower series. That took me like 2 days. It was a pretty short book, but also so it was a fairly easy read. It was really engaging from the very beginning to the very end, I thought. I wouldn't say it's my favorite book in the series. It's probably one of my least favorite, but I did enjoy reading it. And then after that, I immediately picked up book 7 of the Dark Tower series, aptly named Dark Tower, and finished that in about a week. That was really good as well. Had some really strong moments, and also had a lot of really down moments. So that kind of brought the pacing issue up. But overall, I did like it. I did like the ending as well enough. So I did finish the Dark Tower series. I did do a video about that last week. So I talked about that. Now it's taken me a long time to actually read it, but I did enjoy it. I would recommend it to anybody who's a fan of Stephen King, anybody who likes unique fantasy or sci-fi or Western stories. I'd at least recommend them to give the first 2 books a chance. And if you like it, keep going from there. And if you don't like it, then, forget about it. Okay, and then after that, I did read Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. Well, I have been rereading the series, so I read that last month. I'm going to say the first 3/4 of the book were probably my least favorite of the series. Just really not that engaging. Seemed really low stakes and really kind of boring for the penultimate book of the series. But I did enjoy the last quarter or so. The action picked up and they got into some more of the backstory and stuff. I also did really enjoy the relationship stuff between Harry and Ginny, which I found surprising. But I've been really enjoying that as I go through the last 2 books. And then finally I read Notes from the Underground by Fyodor Dostoevsky, which is my first Russian novel. This one is a very short one. It's about 120 pages. I quite enjoyed that as well. It's kind of a more philosophically based look at poverty and I guess kind of mental health, if you want to go that far. This is a really interesting read. Yeah, so that's what I read. What I'm reading now is the next Russian classic on my list, I guess. Again, by Dostoevsky, is The Gambler. I started that very recently, so I'm not sure how I feel about that quite just yet, but I am looking forward to getting through it. And naturally, since I have one book left in Harry Potter, I'm reading Deathly Hallows right now. Quite enjoying that as well. I've been noticing a lot of the differences between the book and the movie in this read that I apparently didn't catch on my first read, which was probably about 10 to 12 years ago. So that's kind of enlightening to see where the movie deviated. So I feel like a lot of the changes have not been positive so far. I feel like the book handled them better. Okay, but anyways, that's what I'm reading at the moment. Oh, I guess I should say that I've also started reading some H.P. Lovecraft. His entire collection. I've read a bunch of his shorter stories recently, so I'm not sure which one I'm on next. Just kind of a background thing. But I've been enjoying a lot of those as well. I think I've enjoyed his shorter work more than I have enjoyed the one longer novella that I read by him, which was At the Mountains of Madness. I read that one first, and I didn't really care for it. But I am reading the shorter ones and have been enjoying those much more. So then what am I planning to read in August? Well, finally I'm going to read Project Hail Mary. I bought this in April and I've been meaning to get to it, but I keep having other things to read first. But I'm finally going to get to it after I finish what I'm reading now. Really looking forward to it. I read The Martian a few years ago. Really enjoyed it. And I've heard this one is even more well loved. Looking forward to that. Beyond that, it's really just, I don't have a lot planned. I have a few ideas, but nothing really set in stone. After I finish 2 7-book series, I'm kind of in the mood for some standalone stuff for a while. That being said, I do want to read The Hobbit sometime soon, because I do want to read the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and I do want to reread The Hobbit first, just to get reacquainted with the universe. So I'm not sure if I'll pick that up this month or not, but that will be a reread. A couple other rereads I am considering are To Kill a Mockingbird, which I first read in junior high and really enjoyed. I also kind of want to reread Tuesdays with Morrie by Mitch Albom. This one, I think I had an instructor read it to us in high school, like during different class periods or whatever. But I really enjoyed that, what I remember hearing of it, so I kind of want to reread that sometime soon. And then I do want to get to Wind Through the Keyhole sometime this month, maybe on the 19th. It is the kind of companion piece to the Dark Tower. It's kind of referred to as Dark Tower 4.5. But it's kind of its own story. So I was initially reluctant to get into it because it's more of what took place in Wizard and Glass, which I didn't really care for all that much, to be honest. It was kind of slow. But I think this one is rather short, so I think the pacing issues shouldn't be a big issue for me in this one. So I do kind of want to get to that and see what that is all about. And then the other book I am thinking about is The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. I read the Tom Sawyer a few months ago, and it was okay. I did enjoy the writing style and the characters, but the story was kind of I didn't do a whole lot for me. But I do want to get to Huck Finn. And it seems like it could be more of a summer or spring kind of book. So I want to get to that this month before autumn comes. So that is basically what I have planned. We'll see how things deviate from there. Oh, I did want to mention that I did watch the Dark Tower movie a few weeks ago, and I hated it. It was awful. It was nothing like the books. It wasn't even a good movie. It wasn't even funny enough to make fun of, really. It was just really boring and really stupid. The acting was kind of so-so from everyone. It's just really kind of a weird movie. They made some weird decisions. I would like to see a proper adaptation sometime. Maybe not anytime soon because adaptations these days are kind of bad. But, you know, maybe when things kind of get back to, you know, being good and stuff. I think a Netflix series or an HBO Max series for the Dark Tower series would be good, rather than trying to fit it all into movies. I think you could fit the book series into maybe 5 or 6 series, depending on how you break things down. So I think that would be a really interesting show with lots of great visuals. I have a lot of ideas on that, so maybe I'll do that in a future video or something. Anyways, that's really all I have for today. Anyways, if you want to add me on Goodreads or whatever, you can keep track of what I'm reading. If you want to buy some t-shirts and crap from one of my stores on TeePublic or Redbubble, you can do that. I've got links below for all that stuff. Yeah, that's all I got for today though. Thank you for watching. Long days and pleasant nights and all that stuff. Harry Butter? No.